Have you ever wondered what the problem is in today's world? There are many problems in the world, but one problem in particular I will be talking about is social media. You see, social media has taken a toll in a lot of people's lives, whether in the older generation, younger generation, or in the middle generation. My name is Judd Diaz, and I'll be talking about social media as my topic. But first, let's dive in and how social media started. Social media began a long time ago. With social media, there's always good and bad, and this is what I'll be talking about today. First, I'll first talk about social media back then versus now. Secondly, I will be talking about other things to do besides being on social media. And finally, the last thing I'll be talking about at today is why we should ban social media for the greater good. Let's start transitioning over to my first main point: social media back then versus social media now. According to a journal of social media, you see, the first social media was in 1969, and that first social media was Facebook. Facebook is one of the biggest, if not the biggest media social platform in today's world, which is why you see young, old adults all over it. Whenever I go out somewhere, whether it be in the Philippines or whether it be at my work or whether it be at my practice, I always see people looking down on their phones, just not trying to be interactive at all. And that's a problem, pretty much. That is currently the world we live in today, where people just look down on their phones and don't want to have any social interaction at all, which kills the whole entire mood of everyone, and me too. Versus back then, where everything was all jolly, everything was black and white. There was just telephones. We only had like an iPod, if you think about it. Now, since like all like the Samsungs, iPhones, like since they've grown on us, it's taking a toll. If we went to back then, when it's all black and white, we would just appreciate the social life back then, where it wasn't crazy. People were smiling, and people were just interacting for the greater good. Now that I've talked about social media back then versus now, I will be then transitioning over to other things you can do besides social media. You see, according to my former school, Iwana High School, did you know that 65% of students use their phone all the time, whether it be during lunch or school? This is true facts. We can search it up on Iwana High School too. That is a problem right there. Like I said, looking down on your phone or not paying attention at all because of this cellular device right here. That's a big issue right there. Now, what other ways you can do? Well, you can start by joining clubs. You can start by doing other activities like cooking, dancing, or even sports to get your mind off. You see, the reason why people and kids are on their phones most of the time is because they're either just bored or they have nothing going on with their life. Those are probably the two main reasons why. This leads me back to my first main point, where they don't want to be social at all. And that's a problem in today's world. Not only you can join clubs, but you can join choirs too. I mean, that's also a club too, but like maybe outside of school. Let's say you have a lot of homework going on. Maybe outside of school, join like a choir club, join like a basketball club. Anything that works to get your mind off social media. Now that I talked about my second main point, which is how to be active without social media or other things to do other than social media, I will then transition over to my final main point on why we should ban social media. You see, this is going to revert me back to my other source now. According to Matt University, 65% of Facebook users and Instagram users are on their phone from 1969 to 2013. That's a long time, and that's a problem right there. Why should we ban social media? Let's see. Kids are always negative to each other. Not only kids, but adults. There's also a lot of scammers on there, so you don't know who to trust now. And there's a lot of untrustworthy websites nowadays. That's causing a lot of people to get off social media. That's the thing right there. See, with negatives in social media, that can cause you to mental health and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big factor right there. And that's why a lot of people, especially nowadays, commit suicide just from social media. And we don't want that to happen. If we look on the positive side, though, in social media, there's always good. You know, maybe sometimes you can join like a Bible study group or anything. That's always a good way to interact and to use social media for good. In conclusion, I first talked about social media back then versus now. Secondly, I then talked about other ways to do things than social media. And third, I talked about why should we ban social media in the US and all around the world. Just hearing these three things alone, if we follow these three things, US and the world will create a better path to completely removing social media or limiting to adults and students. See, at the end of the day, there's always a positive and a negative. Obviously, we want to focus on the positive because that's how humans are created to be. But also, we always have to look at the negative side too and say, all right, there's always consequences to good and bad. If we can just limit social media, if we can just tell our kids or other people to stop being on their phones 24/7. I know it's easier said than done, but I know you can do it, the country can do it, and the world can do it. We will be in a better place right now. And that is my topic on social media, and I hope you change, I change, maybe the audience change too, on how the way we look at social media. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.